Morning, everyone. I'm going to start this meeting for the Polk County Board of Commissioners for March 19th, Wednesday, March 19th. All commissioners are present. Announcements are on the agenda and extra copies are in the room. First item up is for comments for items not on the agenda. All right, hearing none. Next item is approval of the agenda.
Also move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Passed unanimously. Approval of the minutes of March 12th.
I'll move approval.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passed unanimously. Approval of the consent calendar.
Also move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passed unanimously. And here we are at our monthly treasurer's report.
Morning.
Right?
You have a copy in your packets.
Yep.
I saw no need to waste any extra paper. So I had a talk with Caitlin because she's been helping me learn how to prepare these. And she said that I asked, had she been presenting these at the commissioners' meetings? And she said no, that they typically were being done in a more casual environment in the commissioners' conference room. And I was just curious who made the decision to put this report on the monthly commissioners meeting.
The board did.
Okay, without any discussion with me.
We're trying to make certain that we have an opportunity for you to tell us how the job's going.
Okay, well, the job's still not going very well, if that's what you want. I'm going to be working closer with the turnover on this next month so that I'm actually doing the report and the transfer of money from the tax accounts to the taxing districts, which is part of my duties. So I'll be doing that. I got to oversee that this past month.
Staff working with you on that?
Yeah, Caitlin's working with me, yeah.
That's going well?
It went well. We did it once. Now I'm going to actually do and prepare the report and get access so that I can actually do the transfers. So yes, it's moving forward. Also in response to your saying about the financial reports on the treasurer's webpage, there's a lot of information that's on the finance page, that's on the tax and finance page already. So I don't know what information I would put on the treasurer's page that would be anything other than duplication of what's already out there. So
It's up to you. Steve.
So I'm just letting you know that that's why I'm not making many moves to put any information on that treasurer's page, because it's mostly every place, other places that people would look more directly to.
Are these cash reports on the finance page?
Well, this one is not on the finance page as far as I know. Yeah.
That'd be a place to start, and maybe your name and email address and what you're about and what how the public.
So let's go back and look at the finance report. So on page 1, all this stuff information is accounts receivable, accounts payable for the county taxing districts. Typically not the treasurer's responsibility. And as you're taking actions to create an ordinance to create a county accountant, this would be the primary responsibility of the county accountant. When you move to these trust funds, those would become under the purview of the treasurer, as well as what's on the second page, which is all the information about the transfer in and transfer out of all the taxing districts and all the taxes that were received. And that's responsibility of the treasurer. And then at the bottom, the bank accounts, those are the responsibility of the treasurer. So the information on the taxing districts and the money that's come in and gone out, that's the Helion reports, are posted on the finance and tax webpage currently. But that should actually be treasurer's information, not finance information. So Caitlin and I are working to try and sort through well, we're not really trying to sort through what's what. We're trying to get me educated in the position where I can actually do the transfer of money to the taxing districts and do the reports for the taxing districts. And then from there, we'll keep moving forward a step at a time to figure out how to get me fully integrated as the county treasurer. So are there any other questions about?
No, trying to make certain that you have the opportunity to engage yourself in the way that you think is appropriate. So,
Okay,
yeah,
all right. So I guess that's,
And Steve, you have, obviously the, investment of cash is to oversee the, investment policy, which is very simple in Polk County, that we invest in the local government investment.
well, but that was a decision by the commissioners. That wasn't a decision by the treasurer.
Yes, and we are the policymakers and, but it is, excuse me, it is the treasurer's duty to, oversee those accounts and report on them.
But it might be something that we could actually sit down and talk about as what the investment policy is and how we could maybe get something that would include the treasurer in.
That is under the purview, the policy is under the purview of the board, but you're welcome to provide.
But the control of the investments is under the
It's your duty
treasurer.
to ensure that the investment policy is being satisfied. So if you have ideas for other investment strategies, you can certainly provide your advice, but that is under the purview of the board. But it is, as I understand the statute, the treasurer's duty to ensure that that is being followed.
And it is.
Okay. And, you know.
But at some point I may approach the commissioners about a change in policy.
You may,
Or an overview of the policy so that we can actually make sure that we're in compliance with state statutes.
are you suggesting we aren't?
No, but I'm just saying that it's been a long time since that policy was put in place by the commissioners.
Yeah.
And it might be worth an overview
Sure.
or review.
well, this is the place
I know,
right here.
yeah.
We're just waiting on you. So,
Well, I'm being handed stuff a step at a time. And so.
So what's not going well? You said you have access to staff.
There's, I don't really want to get into it here. But if you look at one of the core reasons that Resolution 1603 was put in place was they felt that there was no custodial officer for the county. Custodial officer in 294 is only a definition. It's not an office. And what they wanted to do is
multiple custodial officers at one time, right?
there could be, but at the same time, that if you go to the budget document for Polk County and you look at over the course of the last 20 to 30 years, you'll see that on the program summary page that the treasurer is the custodian of the trust funds. It's been that language forever. It's been copied and pasted over and over and over again. If you look in the current budget, proposed budget, you'll see that that same language is there, that the treasurer is the custodian. So there was really, in my eye, not to get into the lawsuit, but there was no reason for a resolution to create a custodial officer because custodial officer was only a definition in 294. It wasn't the establishment of an office of a custodial officer. It just described that in any organization, the custodial officer, and then it said, could be referred to as the county treasurer, the business administrator, the finance director. It didn't say a new office needed to be corrected. And in the language, it says that the custodial officer, and it refers to county treasurer. So I guess that's part of it, is that the treasurer is the chief financial officer for the county.
That's not true.
I beg to differ.
I mean, could you cite statute? We're going by statute. That resolution It has been, we're not operating.
Well, you're,
No, really, by the law, how are you the sole custodial officer or the CFO? I don't understand.
well, because there's the county taxing district, which you guys are in charge of. Then there's all the other taxing districts, and I'm gonna guess, Jeremy, that you understand separation of county taxing districts from individual taxing districts because you were the mayor of one of them, correct?
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah. And so all the monies that are collected from property taxes are not under the purview of the county administrator or the county finance officer. They're under the purview of the tax collector and the treasurer. And they go around what the commissioners are doing and what the commissioners are responsible for, the county taxing districts payables and receivables. So there's $181 million that moved through under the purview of Caitlin that should have been under the purview of me.
Who's the tax collector?
As far as I understand, Caitlin is.
Yeah.
But the tax collector isn't the one who's supposed to distribute the money. They're supposed to give the monies to the treasurer so the treasurer can record it, deposit it, and then distribute it. So I don't know what you don't understand in that and why
You're being trained on that now?
I am,
Okay.
but I should have been trained on that 4 years ago. And I should have been given the full pay 4 years ago.
Full pay. What do you mean?
I mean, you get full pay. You understand what full pay is. You guys are just, so I understand where you're coming from. I've given you some information. Caitlin and I will keep working together. I'll be back next month according to your agenda. So unless you have any other questions.
Nope.
Okay.
Let us know if we can help.
Okay, do we have a need for an executive session?
Yes, sir. The board will now meet in executive session pursuant to ORS 192-660 sub 2F to consider information or records that are exempt by law from public inspection.